Hi, and welcome to today's MS4 employee training. Today I'll be talking to you about right-of-way maintenance, including mowing and vegetation planting. Right-of-ways are important road features maintained by municipalities. A well-kept right-of-way will improve road safety and visibility, prevent soil erosion, keep weeds from spreading, and protect water quality by allowing stormwater to soak into the ground and be filtered by soil and plants. Vegetation that is not maintained along roadsides can result in safety hazards, eroded roadsides, spread of invasive plants, and degradation of water quality. Here are some tips to consider for managing roadside vegetation. Use native plants. Maintain native plants. Control invasive species. Reduce erosion. Mow smart. So now let's break these tips down deeper. Native plants and grasses are well suited for roadsides since they are adapted to local growing conditions. Native plants are particularly beneficial because they thrive in poor subsoil in post-construction areas, have deep roots that help them survive drought, compete with weeds, and prevent erosion, provide habitats for birds and pollinators like bees, require little to no watering, mowing, fertilizing, or pesticides, and are hardy enough to stand up to winter under the weight of snow and help keep snow off the roadways. This is helpful in reducing snowdrifts, which reduces plowing and salting activities. Invasive plant species can overtake native vegetation and agricultural land, creating monocultures. They are expensive to mitigate once established. Roads are the main artery through which invasive plants are spread. To prevent the spread of invasive plants and protect native species, first evaluate each road project to determine if invasive species are present. Always revegetate areas after construction. Clean all equipment thoroughly before mowing a new site, even if it is on the same road. Use certified weed-free landscaping materials, and determine a treatment plan if invasives are encountered. There are several ways to control invasive plant species. Mowing. Identify plant species before you mow, as some invasives spread faster once mowed. Many communities delay roadside mowing until August 1st to protect ground nesting birds. Burning can be an effective solution to controlling invasive plants, but you should first identify and follow all local burning ordinances. Obtain DNR fire permits. Work with MnDOT's fire crew to ensure safe burning, and carefully consider weather conditions before burning. A chemical response can be used to selectively control broadleaf plants. Identify target species and use the appropriate chemical. Take measures to minimize exposure to people, wildlife, and the environment. Follow all instructions for proper dosage and application. Excess chemicals can be washed away in runoff and pollute lakes and rivers. Biological control is the last option for controlling invasive plant species. Insects identified as damaging to the invasive plants present are deployed and feed on foliage, flowers, seeds, roots, and other plant parts to diminish the plant's ability to reproduce and flourish. First, identify the type of invasive plants present so you can choose the correct insect. Certain types of weevils and beetles feed on certain plants invasive to Minnesota. Biological responses are effective for controlling spotted knapweed, leafy spurge, and purple loosestrife. Vegetative cover along roadsides helps prevent soil erosion, which can significantly impact the environment. Stormwater runoff washes sediment, fertilizers, and pesticides into waterways. Nitrogen and phosphorus carried by runoff causes many environmental problems, including excessive algae growth, depletion of water's oxygen supply, and suffocation of aquatic organisms. Topsoil washed away by storm runoff clogs waterways and reservoirs with sediment, and excess runoff contributes to flooding problems in downstream areas. During roadwork and ditch maintenance, remove as little vegetation as possible. If soil is left exposed within 200 feet of a water body, you must install temporary or permanent erosion protection
within 24 hours.
Planting native vegetation with deep roots is an easy and economical way to reduce erosion by up to 90%. Additional structural controls can be implemented to further prevent erosion. Terraces and retaining walls catch runoff, giving water time to soak into the ground and make attractive planting beds. Structural controls should be sloped by about 2% perpendicular to a hill's decline to direct drainage to the sides and prevent pooling. Install perimeter control, such as silt fences, on all downgradient perimeters. Remember, structural controls and native vegetation only prevent erosion if they are well established and maintained. These are recommended practices that reduce the environmental cost of mowing. Establish a mowing frequency for each area. They may be classified as a frequently mowed zone, annually mowed zone, or a no-mow zone. Areas with native plants and wildflowers should not be mowed more than once per year. Identify and place markers around sensitive areas such as wetlands and turtle nesting areas. Mowing is restricted or prohibited around habitats for threatened or endangered species. Always leave a buffer of unmowed area along the edge of all streams and wetlands. This provides a filter to prevent pollutants such as fertilizer, pesticides, and animal waste from directly entering the water. The exact width of the buffer should be determined using slope, soil type, intended use of the waterway, and watershed rules. Set mower height to a minimum of 3 inches for optimal turf health. Grass mowed at a lower height is more susceptible to weeds and invasive plants. You should maintain the highest mower height possible. Mow a buffer up to 8 feet along a roadside and let the remaining vegetation grow naturally. To discourage large weeds, shrubbery, and invasive trees, mow the entire area once per year. Thanks for protecting our water resources.